morning. Hey, here it is. This is, again, I've just been finding myself coming out here a lot. I've been out here in a long time, and I drive through it all the time, but I actually hadn't stopped and explored in a long time until I kind of started to make these life-changing decisions. And I just want to take this time to kind of talk through that, because really all I was going to do, I was going to come out and take a walk and pray, and I really didn't even think I was necessarily going to film. But I just want to take a little time and talk about kind of the changes that I've been talking about in my life and how they have affected me, because my wife and I, we haven't ever really taken a vacation, and we just got back from vacation. And during that time, I really wanted to focus on just everything that I'm talking about, like take work out of the equation and just focus on becoming stronger physically. And during that time, we worked out so much, and coming back, my knee hurts so bad at the end of that. But it's the things that took place over that 9 days that wasn't just working out. It wasn't just working out. And that's kind of what I want to take this time and talk about, because, I'm going to kind of speak through the different things that I've been doing and how they affected those 9 days. The first thing I'm doing is I'm recognizing prophecy. I'm seeing it to be so. I believe it to be true. So I'm responding to that. I'm actually, I'm physically responding to it. I'm not just learning about it. And I'm not just hoping things don't go a certain way. I have learned through the book of Joshua that the very first thing you have to do in order to be strong in the army of God is that you have to be able to recognize prophecy, and you have to be able to believe it to be so. If you're missing one of those two things, at least for me, working out, is just working out. So because I know those things to be true, I have taken it upon myself to make the changes, because there's no way I could be ready for something like that physically at all. So one of the things I knew about me was I had to change the way I think about things, and that changes the way I think about things when it comes to my health. So a good friend of mine, he's actually one of my best friends. I worked with him in New York City. I live in Kansas City, and I have a saying that if for some reason I ended up in jail in Kansas City, I would more likely have a friend from New York City come bail me out than I would have a friend from Kansas City come bail me out. He's that kind of a friend. Like, he's the guy to get on a plane and come bail you out. But I've worked with him. I've spent, hundreds of hours just talking about random stuff. I know who he is and what he's about, and he's older than I am, and he's, I do know he's physically in fantastic condition. Very, very good shape for being how old he is. And so I want, but the best part about all that is that he is a resilience coach as well. So I've sought him out, and I've asked him, about what change, how can I change the way I think about health and fitness? And ultimately the answer is that, for starters, I have to be looking at health and fitness for a benefit, not like, oh, well, if I don't work out, I'm going to be fat, or if I don't work out, I'm going to have a heart attack, or if I don't work out, I won't be able to walk because my knees will hurt. Like, not that, but actually say, well, I want to work out because I want to be ready and strong for something that might happen. Like, I'm looking at it as a positive thing. Instead of looking at, I'm not working out for negative reasons, I'm working out for positive reasons. And as I work out, I actually think about being strong for a time of trouble, and I'm way more motivated. That's why I'm working out twice a day. I couldn't even work out once a week before, and now I'm working out twice a day. So having those conversations with him is incredible. And I actually have that video. I recorded that conversation, and I got that coming out. But I had that conversation before I went on this vacation. And And I'm glad I did, because I changed the way I think about working out. But in addition to that, a good friend of mine is making a drink. He lost 110 pounds in 7 months. He is a happier person. He sleeps better. He has more energy. He's more focused in his mind. He can remember things more. And he puts it all to, and he started just eating Trinidad scorpion peppers once a week. He said every Sunday I just ate Trinidad scorpion peppers. It's about all I can handle. And that physiologically changed his whole body. Like he said, right away, he was sleeping better. He had more energy. He immediately saw he was losing weight. And none of his other habits changed. Of course, he dieted and exercised, but everybody diets and exercises and is unsuccessful. And, so he's then, through many people kind of begging him through that time, he just ended up making it as a drink, because his kids were trying to eat the stuff he was making and they were hating it. And then ultimately he led to a drink that took out the binding agents that hold the burn to you. So the things that make your stomach feel like you just ate razor blades or make your tongue burn for 40 minutes, those things aren't in there. But you're still getting the benefit of that pepper. And so he ended up calling it, because he did that every Sunday. And, when I first tried it, I was very much like, this might be terrible. But it wasn't. All right. Now, I do like spicy things. So, bottoms up. It's not bad. No. It's got a little bite to it, but it's got a great flavor to it. So what is that? Is that, it almost tastes like I don't know.
Now but
it's got a nice flavor to it.
Now take another drink.
It is spicy. Now, how long does that go, the spice part?
Should be gone right now.
I was surprised. I wouldn't even say it necessarily burned. It's more of a tingle, or I don't know. And then it went away. You're scared at first, of course, because he tells you each bottle has 12 Trinidad scorpion peppers in it. But that's so I've been doing that for 6 weeks now, and I'm just telling you, I can tell a difference. I can tell a difference. That's what I know. I'm going to keep doing it. That's for sure. And something that's really going to start full force tomorrow, and I'm very nervous about this, is I'm going to try 4 nights a week to take this class, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. But 2 nights a week at that same place, they incorporate really practical street fighting with knives and guns and street fighting stuff. To not just be in a tournament and do jiu-jitsu, but to be in a real situation. And because I don't want to go to tournaments. I don't want to do that. I don't want to voluntarily get beat up. So I'm doing that. And, I love this guy. This guy, he was the SRO at Northeast High School in Kansas City with me for many years. Me and him have broken up so many fights together, so many fights. It's the only time we were in a rumble, and he looked, I remember, I'll never forget this. He looked me straight in the eyes and said, "Somebody's going for my gun." And I looked, and somebody's going for his gun. And I took that guy off of him. And we kind of have that kind of a relationship together. That's how I remember him, is he was the guy that was in there when everybody else ran, locked their door, called security, he was in there. And he's a tough guy. He is pretty bad to the bone. He was bad to the bone then, and all he's done is train with weapons and fighting since then. And that was I don't know, 2008. So I believe in him, and he's opened up a gym. And by the way, I'm going to put links to all of this stuff I'm talking about. I just want to share all of this with you. And I'm going to start doing, continuing a training with somebody. I haven't trained with them in a long time, but they do really practical firearms training. They train the Missouri Highway Patrol, most of the police around here. It's very practical, tactical training, and I love his classes, and he's brilliant at it. So I'm going to do a lot of that. So I share all this with you because my goal is to have you see that, you can't just say, well, I'm going to work out. Because alongside this, and here's the most important part, is that I'm going through the book of Joshua verse by verse to see how an army of the living God is victorious. What does that take? Because that's what it's going to take. If you don't have that, all that other stuff, it does not matter. It does not matter. I'm just wasting my time. I'm just wasting my time. I mean, sure, I got the health benefits from it, but I think I just go back to who I was, which is I want to work out, I want to be in better shape, but I don't really. But when I see what it takes to be the army of the living God, alongside preparing for a time of tribulation, physically, knowing what it takes to be in that army of the living God, it changes the way you think about working out a lot. And for me, this is what I'm doing. These are the things that I'm going to do. I'll put all their links below, and you're welcome to reach out to all these people. But we all have our things that we need to do. And I know it's physically be strong enough to be outside for long periods of time, climb giant mountains and hills and rivers or whatever it takes. You at least got to be able to pull off stuff like that. Because the promise that God gives us is a place in the wilderness. And I don't think that anything about it is going to be comfortable. And some people will be okay in that. I don't think any of us are going to, be glad we don't have our beds and our air conditioning and our, but our refrigerators and DoorDash and all that stuff. But we're going to be okay. And most Americans, if the electricity went out, would either be dead in 9 days, or they would be savages. Maybe even eating people in 9 days. Because all they know is I want what I want, and I can go to a store and get it. And I just think we need to be smarter than that. We need to be realistic about what a time of tribulation looks like. And I know a lot of people are like, well, you'll get raptured up. No, you won't. It's the last trumpet. Not, come on. I mean, Jesus and every disciple went through tribulation. That's meant for you too. Pick up your cross and follow him. The Bible clearly says it is at the last trumpet. When Christ returns, immediately, the exact words, immediately following tribulation, wake up, be ready. Don't be fooled. That's a satanic lie. It is a satanic lie. And I've made many videos on that. I'm not calling it You satanic if you believe it. I'm just saying that lie originated from satanic devices, and we've been fed it for over 100 years. We've been fed that satanic lie. And it's time you wake up and see what the Word of God actually says, not what people are telling you it says. But as for me, I choose to serve God, and this is how I prepare for it. So, I know I didn't go through Joshua this time, but it feels a little weird sharing everything I'm doing every time I go through Joshua. So just know as I go through it, I'll talk about it briefly, what I'm going through, and but I just wanted to at least take one video and say, this is what I'm doing. It's not just I work, because I go back to those 9 days. Those 9 days I was working out, I had all that going in my head as I pushed up weights. I had all that stuff in my head. It's motivating. It's very motivating. All those things are motivating that I'm doing, and I recommend you change. So I hope this video helps. I will. And I'll also add that, it's going to take 2 to 4 years to go through the book of Joshua, verse by verse. What's that going to look like? What will that look like in 4 years? If this just keeps going like this for 4 years, if you're in on this and you're just doing these things, you're out, you're working out, you're training, and you're studying what it takes to be a soldier in the army of the living God. Imagine 4 years from now, goodness gracious. So I hope this video helps. Any thoughts or insight on any of this, definitely put it in the comments below. If you like this video, click like and subscribe. Feel called to support this channel through Patreon. That link is also below. But the most important part of this channel is we take prayer requests. So please don't ever hesitate to send that in. Thank you for watching this episode of God, Family, and Guns. And as always, love God, love your family, and love guns.